Hey guys, how you guys doing? Welcome to my channel. So today we are going to do a review of this knockoff fake Samsung SD micro SD card. So this is not my first fake Samsung micro SD card that I bought from eBay. This is my second one. Now, originally, when I was thinking about buying these SD cards, I needed 128 gigs. I looked at the prices on eBay, Amazon. They were kind of expensive. Really, really expensive. Well, not really expensive, but outside of what I want to pay for one of these cards. So I looked at the lowest prices on these cards, and apparently they go for around $21, around $20. You get them at around $20 on eBay for these cards. Obviously, they are not the Samsung cards, the real Samsung cards, because of how much they're priced. So basically, I bought one a couple months ago. I've been using it. I'm still using it. Had a really didn't have any issues with it at all. No issues. When I formatted it, it formatted it pretty fast. No issues with that. So I'm like, I need another 128 gig Samsung card. So what I do, I went on eBay and I bought another one of these for 20 bucks. Actually, it was like 19 bucks. And for the last couple of days, guess what, guys? For the last couple of days, it's been pretty horrible as far as this, my purchase of this particular card, of this particular non-Samsung knockoff fake micro SD card is concerned, because when I tried to transfer my files, and I had about, I would say, a good 50 gigs of files. It's like 50 gigs of files that I tried to transfer over to this card. And what happened was, after it was done transferring, I looked at the files and most of the files were not there. I had maybe like 20 files of videos that were there. All my music files transferred fine. All my videos files, there were about a lot of video files. Only 20 of them transferred over. Some of them couldn't play, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, all right, I had this issue before. I didn't format it right. Last time I had this issue, I reformatted the card and all my files came back. However, since last night, I've been trying to format this card with my, you guys can see it, with my HP Stream Windows 10. It did the trick last time without any problem with my other card that I got from eBay. So I had my fingers crossed, thinking maybe it'll work out. And it had trouble formatting it. Instead of taking like a minute or two to format it, it took about an hour to format the card. And after it was formatted, it was asking me questions about this file can't be done. This file can't be done this way. Can't be stuff that didn't come up the last time I tried to format my other Samsung card that I bought for 20 bucks on eBay. So what's my review of these cards? What's my reviews of these cards? And I would just have to say it's hit or miss. Hit or miss on these cards. So I got my money back because I contacted the eBay guy, the guy who sold me this early this morning. The person who sold me this early this morning, I contacted them and I told them, hey man, I could not, most of the files that I tried to transfer to this card were erased. They were erased, weren't on this card, after it got finished transferring. Obviously, he didn't get back to me. All he did was refund my money. 19 bucks he refunded me was how much I paid for this. And believe me, if I would have paid 19 bucks just to get the information back. It's not the worst situation in the world. I mean, I could always, that the stuff that got deleted wasn't, anything that was crazy important. But it was just stuff that I wish that I still have, which I can't get. This card right here that you're looking at, it's gonna go in the garbage because I can't format it. I mean, not that, you know, it was a big, you know, it was a big issue because, you know, it wasn't taking in the files correctly. I mean, I had that problem, but the other problem is, it's not a bigger problem. The other problem is I can't format this. I've tried formatting 3 or 4 times. It goes through, you know, it runs through the system. And then at the end, you know, every time I put this card in anything, it's going to say this card is not formatted. You know, so it's kind of, I'm discouraged by this by itself. So if you guys look at the title, it says hit or miss. It says hit or miss. Some of them work fine. One of them works fine. And this one didn't. So my review of it is, it's hit or miss. If you hit a really good one, if you get a good Samsung 128 gig fake card, then you made out pretty good, which I did last time. If you get one of these cards that don't work the way it's supposed to work, and it's a $19 purchase, you know what? It might be a pain. It will really be a pain in the ass for you, especially if you actually like the files that you were trying to store on the card or whatever. Am I gonna buy another one of these fake cards again? You know what? I will definitely. You know what? Just for the price of it, it's like $20. What I didn't do right previously is I did not try to format this before I used it. What I should have done, I should have formatted this card before I used it. It would have saved me so much hassle as far as the info that I lost, you know, putting the files on and then doing it afterwards. I would have known whether it was a good card or not. So to all you guys who are looking to buy one of these cards, and you guys are thinking, you know what? I don't know whether I should buy one of these cards or not. I saw a couple of videos. I just watched a couple of videos on YouTube on these fake cards, and it's like, well, you know, they work, but they're a little bit slower. They're a little bit slow in transferring files over than the real Samsung cards. My personal thought on that, I really don't care whether it's a little bit slower or not. It's not a big deal to me as long as it holds the information. You know, as long as it works normally like a card, you know, speed, you know, unless it's like really crawling slow, I don't really care that much about, you know, the speed. And, you know, last video I watched on one of these cards, it wasn't that slow. They were surprised at how fast it was. But the problem is, if the card is defective in itself, then you're going to have a bigger problem. So for all you guys looking to buy this card, you know, whether you should spend $20 or maybe, you know, whether you should spend like close to $100 on a 128 gig card. My personal thought on this is, I'm going to buy another one of these. All right, I'm going to buy another one of these. And I'm probably going to buy like keep on buying these fake cards. Reason being is, you know, there are good ones in the batch. The bad ones are the bad ones. And you'll know, here's the test. Here's how you can test out whether you got a bad card or a good card. If it's a bad card, you can always return it. If it's a good card, you know, you're in a winning situation. Now, if it's, you know, now all you got to do is format it. If it formats within 2 minutes without any issues, you're all good on it. If it doesn't format correctly and you constantly have issues with formatting it, you know it's a bad card, return it, get another one, and you should be okay with that situation. As far as putting files on a card that's not an official Samsung card, it's a fake card, you know what? I should have pretty much copy and pasted instead of cutting and pasting it. Copy and pasting it, you know, I wouldn't have this issue that I ran into yesterday. If I had copy and pasted, I would still have all my files. It just, you know, and I would have found out that this card wasn't all that great. And I would have returned the card, got another one, formatted. You know, there's, a couple of things you got to do. You still got to format the Samsung cards that come, the real Samsung card that come, that you get anyway. So my thought on this is, it's hit or miss. I'm not gonna give it a thumbs down, thumbs up, 5 stars. You know, obviously the bad ones are 1 stars, and if you get a fake card that actually works, but it's a little bit slower, it's a 5 star. I'm all right with it being a little bit slower. Not a big deal with that, but the trick to get to these cards is obviously when after you get the card, format the card. All right, see if it formats right. If it formats right, you're pretty good on it. And if you're gonna put files on it, copy and paste, just in case, you know, there's an issue that pops up. Always copy and paste and not cut and paste. All right, just in case it's an issue that pops up. At least I got my music files. I don't know why, but all my music files are good. No issues with my music files. It got saved onto this card, but I copy and pasted all of those music files onto the Samsung card, the fixed Samsung card that I got the first time around, that works like a charm. This one does not work like a charm. It's going to trash. I already got my money back on it. Really wished it would have worked, because I really wish I didn't lose any of it. I really wished I didn't lose any of the files that I did lose on it, but whatever. It wasn't the worst thing in the world. But as far as this card is concerned, if you get a hit on this, if you get a good card, a good fake Samsung card for 20 bucks, you're all right. If you get a bad fake Samsung card, it's a pain. It's not worth it, obviously. But you can always test it out, and testing it out makes this makes buying these cards worth it. Reason being is it's a $20 card. It's a $20 card, and you're getting a $20 card, 128 gigs. As long as you can format it, you're all good. As long as you copy and paste, and then all the files transferred over, you're all good. You always got a copy of of your files, just in case anything goes bad. So format it and copy and paste, and don't cut and paste. Don't cut and paste, because if something happens, you're not gonna have backup. So there you go, guys. Am I going to give this? What am I going to give this? I already went through with this. As far as giving this a grade, as far as it's concerned, it's hit or miss. I'm not going to give it 1 star or 5 stars. If you get I'm going over this again. I already went over this. But if it's a good card, if it's a good fake card, it's worth 20 bucks. If it's not, it's not.